Why is my background blurred?
I don't know. Because you don't know
How do
how
I
to work a computer.
how do I fix that?
It looks kind of cool. It's like you're in like a fantasy fairyland. Oh,
Not anymore. I'll turn it back on though, because I don't want people seeing my Sprite cans.
I was gonna say, what's that massively bright light behind you?
That's my lamp. It's the sun.
The sun.
The sun.
The sun. Oh my God. Hey, Willow.
Yeah.
Don't look now. Don't,
Don't look now.
don't
I
look
should start
now.
recording. I should start recording
Oh,
myself.
you should start recording. I didn't realize you weren't recording yourself yet.
No, because the dog was barking really loudly.
Ugh, my dogs are barking. Let me tell you. Actually, that's
Yeah.
not true. Actually, the truth is my back is killing me. I'm in so much pain right now.
You know what I just finished doing?
What?
Talking about a book.
Oh yeah, with whom?
With my book club.
Oh, that's fun. So you should be like all primed and ready to go.
I will say I enjoyed this story a lot more than I've enjoyed the stories in the book that we've been reading.
Oh,
hmm
which is
it is Never Whistle at Night.
oh, okay. I have that book.
Some of them are really, really good. Some of them are not as good.
Wow. That's the way it works, I guess.
Yeah, I was expecting a bit more out of it, but
Well, I have to tell you something that the book that we're discussing. Well, first of all, should we record this episode? Should we
yeah.
get on board and record? Woo! Woo!
That didn't
Uh,
help sync us up at all.
that no, I wasn't trying to sync us up. We don't need
Nope.
to sync us up because this is sync us up for us. Uh, it's been a long time since we've recorded a show.
That it
Like
has.
months and months and months. When
Mhm.
did we start this show proper? When did we first
2016?
26 was it 2016?
I think so. It was either 2016 or 2017. I was in high school, and
Chronos
it was
was it was in 20 it was March 2017.
so we're coming up. We've just hit the 9 year mark. We're coming
We
up on 10 years next year.
yeah, we're gonna be I will say have been doing this for 10 years. We took a little bit of a break. It's been a while since
We've taken a few years here and there.
we took a few years. That's okay. That's okay. We needed time to stew.
I moved. I got a new job.
Yeah.
It's life, you're an adult now. Well, you've been an adult. I'm an adult now.
It looks like our last episode proper that we released, we did a brief Christmas special, if you
hmm
remember.
Yes.
Our last proper episode, though, was Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, which was in October of 2025. So it has been almost a year since we've recorded a proper full-length episode.
That's fine.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. We gave people time to want us more.
Exactly.
And
And I had no time to do anything. I
right,
barely have time to do
you
this.
have a full-time job. You moved into your own place. You've
hmm
like you don't live in the city anymore. You have things to
Nope.
do. You have people to see. You have relationships to develop and life to live. You don't have time to talk to your old man for an hour a week.
I do though. I
I
do.
know you do. I know you do. In fact,
Although
when I
you
asked
might
you if
have,
you what?
huh? No, you say.
I said when I asked you if you wanted to do this, you answered right away.
I did. We might have to move the date around sometimes just because I don't want to always have to cut off book club.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
This was a first time thing. We're still getting used to this. Hey everybody, I'm Phil,
And I'm Willow.
and it's I
It's
don't want to
Del
say Del
Toro
Toro
time.
time anymore.
Oh.
It doesn't feel like it's Del Toro time anymore.
It's book time.
It's book time. I was really happy with us being the what was it? Well, the last book title it was David G.
The
Hartwell's uh Dark Descent. We called
yes.
ourselves the Dark Descent. And you know what? I'm fine sticking with that for now because we are still descending into darkness.
Well, now we're laying the foundation.
Right. So we descended into darkness and
Decide to build a house.
we now yes, now it's to build a house atop that darkness.
It's just like the back rooms.
It's just like the back rooms. It's we have a shaky found so the, David G. Hartwell wrote compiled the incredible Dark Descent, which we covered all of. And he
Yes.
followed it up with the official follow-up The Foundations of Fear. Do you own a copy of The Foundations of
Not
Fear?
only do I own one copy, whoa, it doesn't want to show it.
It doesn't
It's
want to show it.
copyrighted.
It's copyrighted.
I own two copies, just like I own two copies of The Dark
Dark Descent.
Descent.
And why do you own two copies of The Foundation of Fear?
Well, I had misplaced my copy of it when I was moving.
Uh-huh.
And so I was like, Dad, I can't find my book. And then, like, 24 hours later, I was like, I found my book. And
You
a
found
couple
that
days
thing.
later,
You found that thing less than 24 hours later.
yeah, it
You,
was
you
like
were,
the same day.
but I had already been like, I gotta get Willow another copy of Foundations of
Yep.
Fear.
And so I come home one day and there's a package at my door that I'm not expecting and I'm like,
Right.
what? But it's from thrift books and I'm like,
Yes.
who bought me a book and why? And then I opened it and I was like,
Oh.
oh,
Oh.
okay.
Oh.
You waited about 5 minutes to buy me a copy of the book. Give me
I
5 minutes to
believe
find
I
it.
literally ordered it while I was talking to you. Well, I
Yeah.
think as you said, I can't find my copy, and I was like, send. I was like,
Yeah, because
order. I was like, I need to get this book to you.
I texted you that morning and then I looked for it after work that day and I found it immediately.
Yeah, yeah. It's a big book. It's a hefty tome.
It
Uh,
is.
and
It was
what
on my
it
mom's bookshelf.
And what it is it's his not only his follow-up, it's literally like so if Dark Descent was a bunch of sort of he had like sort of his horror themes and these were stories that fit into those themes. Foundations of Fear is literally that. It is he considers these like foundational horror stories.
Interesting.
And these are, and he also consciously chose, he was like, I got to get more women in here. He's like, if it wasn't for women, we wouldn't even have horror. He's like, I got to get more women than were in the last collection. And I got to get more representation, like sort of global representation. So like,
Hmm.
it's more variety, but also like, and these are chonkier stories.
They're novellas.
Yes, this is more novella length tales.
How
Uh,
many of these stories have movies based off of them?
a lot.
Because what if we recorded an episode on the short story and then watched the movie?
What if we did? I guess that my question for you is how comfortable are you seeing Donald Sutherland's bare back, balls, and butt?
I don't really care.
Okay.
I watched Midsummer with my mom in the theater,
Because
and neither of us were expecting that.
our first story, let's get right into it because this will give us a good segue into it. What is the first story in David G. Hartwell's Foundations of Fear?
The first story is Don't Look Now
By
by, I'm gonna butcher her last name because I already did today, Daphne du Maurier? Maurier?
Maurier.
Maurier, okay.
Daphne du Maurier, who we discussed many years ago
With Rebecca.
with Rebecca. Yes, the story that the very misunderstood novel that
Mm-hmm.
caused her no end of frustration because people constantly refer to Rebecca as a romance and her as a
It's not.
romance writer, and she's like, are you reading my writing?"
When I looked her up, the only thing it said about her was that she was most well known for her novella Don't Look Now.
I
So
mean,
I was like, AI, I don't think that's quite
I don't think
right.
that's right, AI. Uh, Daphne du Maurier. So we covered her a little bit, but she was an English novelist. She hated being called just a novelist, though. She was like, "No, I write short stories. Like that's like
Hmm.
kind of her big thing." She talks a lot about identity and desire, a lot of stuff about relationships and marriage and grief, the instability of life. Uh, but yeah, so even though she was well known for Rebecca, Jamaica Inn, Frenchman's Creek, her work is anti-romantic, it's gothic, psychologically cruel. She has deep suspicion of marriage, of sexual possession, social
The birds.
identity.
The
The Birds,
birds.
yep, she wrote The Birds. Here's something interesting. Her grandfather was a writer as well, and he
Hmm.
wrote the novel Trilby, which gave us the not only the term Svengali as meaning somebody who like controls a young woman for
Hmm.
nefarious purposes, based on the villain of that novel, Svengali. The play adaptation of Trilby, the actress who played the lead woman wore a hat that was designed just for her costume, which became known as a trilby. And if you're wondering why it's like a small fedora, like a fedora with a much smaller brim,
Mhm.
and it's kind of the hat that a lot of what are they what like sort of neckbeard guys who say
Incels.
like incel like when you think of, like the incel wearing a hat, like it's kind of the incel hat, the trilby, which is a shame because it was a woman wore it on stage for women, like for a woman, but it became a man's fashion because of that and became known as the trilby. So thank you, Grandpa du Maurier, for giving us incels, I guess is the point I'm trying to make.
As we all know, what causes an incel is the trilby. It has
Is the
nothing
hat.
to do with the horrific lack of socialization in our modern culture.
Nope, it is just like Frosty the Snowman. You put the magic hat on them, but instead of them gaining sentience and saying happy
They
birthday,
lose
they
sentience,
lose sentience and complain about how women don't want to date short guys. I guess I don't know. I try to stay out of
or
incel
they commit hate
circles,
crimes.
or they and they commit hate crimes. um, a few things about Daphne du Maurier. She was married a couple of times. She married a guy named Frederick Browning, whose nickname was Boy. Frederick Boy Browning. She married the boy. Uh, she achieved her big success with Jamaica Inn. She became internationally famous for Rebecca. She wrote The Birds. She wrote The Apple Tree, The Blue Lenses, The Alibi, Don't Look Now. All these really famous short stories and novellas. Um, but one of the big deals about Daphne du Maurier is that she said many times over that growing up, she very much felt like she felt like she was a boy. She was a boy in a girl's body. She had a masculine identity that she play acted as a child a lot. She had multiple affairs, at least two that we know of, with women. That the stories about which are very famous, but also very suppressed by her descendants. But there's plenty of correspondence between her and people. We know that she had very passionate feelings for women. We also know that she had very passionate feelings for men. She hated the idea of being labeled a lesbian. She didn't feel like she was that. She didn't really have a label for herself. She just kind of was who she was, and damn propriety. She just wanted to love and be loved, and she was so that fed a lot into her suspicions of relationships, suspicions into like of women's places in society. She based Rebecca very much on her own experiences. She had her own house that she was obsessed with. It wasn't called Manderley. It was a name like Manderley, like Mandeville or something. Uh, but yeah, she had a deep suspicion of relationships and identity and perception and
She would have loved, well, I don't actually know all that much about her, but she would have loved the freedom of expression that we have now, I guess.
I hope so. I would hope so. But again, a woman who just didn't like being tied down. You can get there's so much if you go to demorier.org, it's just like you can read the letters, you can watch documentary. Like there's so much information out there about Daphne du Maurier. She was beautiful and she hated the fact that she was judged for her looks a lot. Um, she liked beautiful women. She liked kissing on them, I guess.
I mean, who can blame her?
Yeah, yeah. And she wrote, and so what is our buddy, the late great Mr. Hartwell? What does he have to say about Don't Look Now?
Well, he's written a lot about her. Uh, let me
Hmm.
find. He says it's one of the finest supernatural horror novellas of the century. Slick, colloquial, yet attaining high intensity and tragic force. He makes an interesting comparison to Gertrude Atherton's The Bell in the Fog. Rarely do stories of the occult generate such conviction. Usually they have the same defect as religious fiction, requiring an a what?
What?
It says
Requiring.
my copy here says requiring an a priori belief.
Requiring an a priori belief.
Okay,
Yes.
I thought he was trying to say requiring a prior belief,
No.
and that there was just a horrible typo
A
in the middle
horrible
of it all.
misprint.
It's like, what am I looking at? In order to attain convincing horripilation? Is that a real word?
Uh
I know he's made at least one up in one of these descriptions.
in order to attain convincing horripilation. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'll buy it. Sure.
Don't Look Now also mixes a good bit of humor into the early scenes, only to emphasize the darkness underneath later. This novella is a triumph. This novella, I'll say it right off the bat, I got so upset while I was reading it
How come?
because I wanted them to just be able to like grow healthy and be happy together
Yeah.
again. And I knew that wasn't going to be how it ended.
Yeah, yeah. It is the first line of the story is "Don't look now,"
Mm.
and well, we get to know this couple pretty well from this first scene.
And they're
Uh,
really cute.
yeah, yeah. So what's the story basically about, more or less about?
More or less, the story is about a couple vacationing in Venice
Hmm.
after their young daughter died.
Yep,
They
of
are
meningitis.
of meningitis. They are trying to sort of get back to normality. The wife is struggling with that. The husband is also struggling with that, but he's a man, so he won't admit it. And that's causing some friction in their relationship. Uh, they meet, or the wife ends up meeting a pair of twin sisters who state that one of them is psychic and can see their dead daughter, being happy between the two of them. She accepts this in what I consider a remarkably healthy way. Like it's not like how you see in a lot of horror stories where you hear that and then they become obsessed over it and want to like bring her back. It seems to really help her to know that their daughter is there.
Yeah,
It does the opposite for him for good reason. He doesn't buy into all of it. He thinks they're lying and manipulating his wife, but he doesn't understand why. Um, and that causes some friction as well.
yeah.
Eventually,
His disbelief
hmm
isn't an outrageous disbelief like in a lot of horror stories. It's not
hmm
like I'm refusing to see what's right in front of me. It makes sense that he would be like, what? Like, what? And so he does argue it. He thinks that these people are manipulating his wife.
yeah, and he doesn't understand why because they're not doing anything.
Right.
Like it's just like, oh, they've told her this and she's accepted it and is being normal now, but now I'm weirded out and
Right.
confused and scared. And so there's some friction there. They get into a little bit of a spat after going out on a date. He gets drunk. And they run into I can't remember if they run into the women before or after that.
I think after
Yeah.
that. Yep.
After that, they run into the women again. She goes to say hi, comes back, and is like, hey, so they've just told me that our daughter is trying to warn them that we need to leave Venice or we're
Yeah.
in danger or tragedy will strike if we stay in Venice. And he's like, that's preposterous. And then they learn their son, their, I think, adult son or
No,
their
no, no. He's a
older
child. He's in boarding
child.
school.
Okay. Their child in boarding school has appendicitis
Hmm.
and isn't doing too well. And the wife is like, well, clearly we need to go to our son. Also, harkening back to previous, actually, they find out that there's like a murderer running around
Right.
Venice.
A
That's
couple of people have been
important.
murdered in Venice.
Yeah. And he has previously seen a little girl hopping around on gondolas, I think,
Yeah,
or
like
like
from like there's boats in the canals, and she's like sort of he sees a little girl leaping from boat to boat at one point, maybe
nearly
being chased
falling.
by an angry man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah. That has nothing to do with the story. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, never
Um,
comes back up.
never comes back up.
Never comes back.
The wife decides she's going to take a plane out of Venice to go to their son. He needs to stay back and drive the car to get all of their stuff. He really doesn't want to stay.
Yeah.
He wants to go, but he doesn't want to admit that he's emotional about the situation, so he doesn't say anything, even though I think it would have helped the relationship be better if he was like, no, I know that you want the stuff with you, but I really want to go. I'm worried about our son. Whatever. Oh, also one of the sisters has told her, like told the wife that he's also psychic. He just doesn't realize it. And he's like, what the
Right.
hell? Um, so he stays behind, and as he's going to leave, he thinks he sees his wife and the sisters walking back in Venice or taking like a bus back to
They're
Venice or
on a boat.
something.
On
On a
a
boat, that's
Yeah.
right. And he's like, what? He's like, why isn't she called? What's going on? So he goes back.
Yeah, and this begins like the big third act. Like
Yeah.
it's sort of the this is the action sequence where he's just
Yep.
running all over Venice.
He's running all over Venice. He convinces himself that the sisters have kidnapped his wife. I think he gets the sisters arrested at some
Yeah,
point
he
or like
goes to the
brought into
cops.
custody.
Yeah.
And
One of the sisters is blind, but the psychic
yes,
sister is blind.
as they often are. Um and then he gets a call after they get taken into custody. He gets a call from his wife who has landed and is like, "I'm here," and he's like, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah, I landed and our son is okay, so everything's great now. Where are you?" And he's like, "I'm still in Venice." And she's like, why?" He's like, I thought I saw you." She's like, "Nope.
Yeah.
Uh, but tragedy didn't strike because our son is still alive." And he's like, "Okay, well, I feel really silly and stupid now, so I better go escort the sisters back home." And he goes with the sisters. He's talking to them. They're like, "Yeah, you're psychic. Don't know what you saw, but it wasn't this time."
Yeah.
Um, Also, I don't remember what psychic vision she has at the end. I know there is one because she has like a an episode.
She has an episode and she says something like, the little girl, or I see the child.
Yeah. Let me see if I
I'm gonna
can
look that
find it.
up.
Um, the child. Oh, there it is. The child. I can see the
Hmm.
child, and then that's all she says.
Right, right.
Um,
Because when she has these massive visions, she has like seizures.
yeah. And then he leaves, gets a bit turned around, and thinks he sees a little girl getting attacked by a man. He goes after her and then gets knifed in the throat by a little person.
Wait, run this back.
So
So
he thinks,
he thinks he sees this, he thinks he's seeing a child being attacked by a man.
yes,
It's the same little girl he's been, or little child he's been seeing in
yes,
like a red Macintosh, like a red Mac with a
yes.
hood. Uh, he follows this little girl into like a room,
Hmm.
shuts and locks the door behind him, and he's all like, it's cool, you're safe, you're safe." And then what happens?
And then she stands up and her hood falls down, and it's a woman, a grown woman. She's a little person, and the cops are coming, and she throws a knife at him and kills him.
And what is his last thought?
Oh God, what a bloody, silly way to die.
And that's the end of the story.
Yep. Well, actually, before his last thought, he's like, "Oh, what I saw as
Yeah,
my vision was them coming to my funeral."
right. He did see his wife and the sisters. They were there in Venice for his funeral. He was psychic the whole time, and the murderer was a little person who was a kind of a twisted, creepy woman.
Yeah,
Uh, and
I
that's who he had
liked.
been seeing the whole time.
Yeah, I the what is happening with my recording? Okay, you might have to edit the sound just a little bit
That's
because
fine. That's
it
fine.
keeps getting louder and louder, so I have to keep turning it down. Anyways, gotta say, I'd read this story before,
Oh
because
yeah.
I've read through some of this book.
Oh okay.
I forgot that's how it ended,
Right.
and I was like, I was expecting ghosts or ghouls, not like not like just a person.
Not just a person. It's the strangest story in the sense that he doesn't he doesn't believe the premonitions of the woman, the psychic
Hmm.
woman, but he does believe that he's seeing something that might be his daughter, or that he sees a child that reminds him of his daughter.
Yeah.
This becomes this, just laying out the plot of this story doesn't really reveal how
The f
bizarre and dreamlike a lot of it is.
the first time he sees the girl, he's like, "Thank God my wife didn't see her jumping on those boats." Or sees the woman, I should say.
Right.
"Thank God my wife didn't see her jumping on those boats because if she saw some like a what looks like a little girl in danger, she would freak out."
Right. Um, and there's this sense of, so they're in Venice and they keep trying to go to places that they're
Hmm.
familiar with, where they've been before, and they keep getting lost or turned around or
Yeah.
ending up in like dark alleys that they were like, wait, what? This shouldn't, like, we shouldn't be. You almost get this. It's all, you mentioned the back rooms earlier. It is almost this
Hmm.
sense of like, this shouldn't be this big and confusing. Like, there's
Yeah.
no way.
Venice isn't that big, I don't think.
Right, it's an archipelago, and it's like,
Yeah.
and again, they know the city.
Hmm.
Uh it's that sense of, and I know that, so Du Maurier wrote this, no, this story came out in 1971, and so this is late in Du Maurier's career.
Hmm.
Because she died in, I think, 89,
Yep.
and she intentionally set this story in Venice in a way that sort of took the romantic view, like Venice was sort of like the place for lovers to go. It's like this beautiful city, and she turned that on its head and was like, no, this is a creepy place where you'll get lost and there's like there might be killers running around. Like she
Just like that Doctor Who episode.
Vampires of Venice, was it?
Yeah.
Yes, just like that. Um, because she understands that like there's also something inherently like sort of decrepit about Venice.
Hmm.
Venice has always been a city that's like being swallowed up by water, by it's always barely held on to
Beautiful
itself.
though. Beautiful
Yes,
place.
but so you also start the story with the Don't Look Now game, which is
Hmm.
played between uh the husband and wife. His name is John, and her name is
Lisa?
Laura.
Laura. I knew it was an L.
John and Laura. Their daughter's name was Christine, and their son's name is Johnny. Uh, and they start off by playing. They see the two. I say old women, the two twins
They were
who
old women. I think they were described as old women.
but when you they first see them, they're playing a game where they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, don't look now. There's like a woman over there who's trying to hypnotize me." And they're like,
Hmm.
and she's like, "Oh." And so they start making up stories as to who they could be. It's like a game they play. It's like, "Oh no, it's actually."
They're doing an improv game.
And they're like, that's two men who are like jewel thieves, and they disguise themselves as twin sisters, like in order to like escape from the authority. Like, and so they're playing this game, and it's when the two sisters get up to go to the bathroom. The wife
One sister gets up, goes to the bathroom.
is like, I'm gonna follow them into the bathroom and see if I can figure out more about these people. It's
Hmm.
like, and she goes off, and he's like, oh my God, I can't believe we're having a good time in Venice.
Hmm.
I'm so happy because even though you keep saying, and it's true, you keep saying that he's kind of denying his own feelings the whole time, like he's kind of pushing himself down.
He's worried about his wife.
He's not aloof. He's not
No.
mean or cold. He loves his wife. He wants them to like, he wants them, I won't say move past the death of their child, but like start rebuilding their
Hmm.
relationship. They
Yeah.
haven't been intimate. It's just, it's been sad, understandable, but they're not
Death of
finding
a
any
child.
joy. And it's a great scene of just like them getting back in the swing of who they are.
It sets up the relationship in a way that a lot of horror stories lack,
Hmm.
where you see them being happy and like healthy together. A lot
Yeah.
of horror stories start with you see a little bit of that, but the relationship almost immediately falls apart, or the one of the two spouses already is kind of an ass.
Right. Yes.
Not with this one. This one sets up the tragedy fairly early on, but in a really good way.
Yes, because a lot of times especially in short stories where time is of the essence, you kind of start with things a little rocky and or if like in Stephen King's case, half the time like two people just go at each other's throats. And then you throw the horror into that, and it's like, well, we're already in a bad situation. And things are getting worse. This is more like things are on the upswing.
Hmm.
And again, like it's not like horror enters their life because horror has already entered their lives.
Yeah.
Like they lost a child. It's more like this sort of psychic monkey wrench gets thrown into their plans.
It's like the story, nothing unpreventable happens in the story. I mean, outside of the story, probably.
Hmm.
But in the story, nothing unpreventable happens. It is just fate.
Huh?
And try as he might be to avoid it, he just ends up walking himself back into it.
Right. Uh, and it's easy as a reader you're not going to guess what's coming. Like
No.
you're never at any point are you in danger of being like, that's actually a little person in a coat and that's the murderer. Like you're never at risk of that because there's so much else going on. His whole like, he sees his, it's because he sees his wife in the vision. He thinks she's in the city. So he goes looking for her. He asks around if, have you seen my wife? Like, I just saw her on the boat. He goes to the police and they're like, wait. What?
It's Orpheus and Eurydice.
A little Orpheus and Eurydice.
Hmm.
Explain.
Well, because he looked back and I mean, it didn't lead to her death, but it led to their separation.
He did go back. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
He went looking for his wife and found death instead.
Hartwell mentions the comedy. He's like, there's a lot of humor in, especially in the early part, but even in the part where he goes to the cops and he's like, I want to, he basically like, I want to report my wife missing, and there's a language barrier. But there,
Hmm.
he's like, my wife is missing. I just saw her, and they're like, so she's, so she's in the
Yeah.
city. He's like, yeah, but she's not supposed to be in the city. I need your help finding her. And they're like, wait, what? Like, it doesn't make any sense. He gets to such a, he frustrates the authorities to such a degree that they start like looking at him as like, well, we know that there's a murderer in the city.
Hmm.
Like he starts casting suspicion on myself. It's almost shenanigans, like
Yeah.
this comedy of errors where he's trying so hard to figure out what's going on with his wife, and then like he gets the two old women in trouble. They get hauled in. They're like, I'm sick. I'm blind. Like, what's happening here? They're Scottish, by the way. They're
Yes.
like this Scottish, these two. So they're there also like on tourist visas. They're not like
Hmm.
they're getting in trouble with the authorities. He's like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean my wife's here. I thought you'd kidnapped her. I thought you were like doing something. It's my fault. And then one of the women's like, oh, the child. And he's like, the child goes off to find the child, ends up getting killed by a little person. It's creepy. It's weird and creepy. You wrote me and you said like this story made me sad and like upset or something. What did you
Uh-huh.
say?
I don't know.
You
What did I
said
say?
you said this story is stressing me out. I am now sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've read this story before too.
Hmm.
And I also forgot how it ended. And I read this story not again like you, not terribly long ago.
Hmm.
And I was like, "Oh, right." Like that,
Like, it's gonna end in tragedy because that's just how these stories go. But the cause of the tragedy is never the central focus of the story.
right.
It's always the relationship between him and his wife.
Yes. Yes. Uh, he also doesn't do anything. He dies trying to help someone. Like he's like, I've
Yeah.
got to save this little girl. I think she's in danger of being murdered.
Hmm.
And that leads him into his own death. So it's not even like he didn't he didn't tamper in God's domain. He didn't like he just simply didn't listen to a psychic. But he thought he did. Like they thought they were out of danger.
Even the psychic sister was like, yeah, it must have been your son.
Right. Right. And now it's all taken care of. Like I think we're good. We're good. We're
Hmm.
good. And the other sister's like, no, no, no. You saw the future, but then like really didn't explain that either.
Yeah.
Like there was it's a lot of misunderstanding. It's a lot of like you think you know what's happening, but you're actually completely wrong a lot.
Hmm.
Um yeah, someone in one of the discussions they talk about how like this story distinguishes between eyesight, insight, and perception as like three different things that are constantly working against each other in this
Just
story.
like Dungeons and Dragons.
It's just you got to roll for perception, and he rolled he rolled like
Really
a
bad.
one. He rolled like a one or a two.
Well, actually, his perception was really high. It was his insight that was
Insight,
really low
yeah,
because he saw everything. He just didn't understand it.
right, right. As someone who is friends with a shocking number of people who have lost children at a young age, couples my age, uh, the relationship between John and Laura is very realistically drawn. The way this story handles grief and guilt and anger and the way the couple tries to protect each other from future pain and future hurt is Du Maurier practices like writes that like with the skill of someone who's been writing for decades, I guess. Like it's a skill of
Yep.
someone who's very well practiced in her writing.
Yeah, because I never felt like he was doing anything for himself in this story. It always felt like he was trying to protect his wife, and then he was trying to protect this girl that he thought was like his daughter.
Right.
And then
And
he was like, oh, well, I'm an idiot. Guess I'm dead.
you can criticize him for being like, you should have been just going like to your son, like to your wife or whatever, instead of like pursuing like trying to get your dead daughter back.
But he tried.
But he tried.
He
Right.
did he agreed in the end to go with her to leave Venice. He's like, you know what, you're right. We got to go into our son. I thought it was kind of stupid with the fortune telling thing. I wasn't going to leave because of them. But as soon as his son was sick, he was like, we got to go.
Right. Right. Yeah. Like they're good
Hmm.
parents. They're good parents.
Like, I wouldn't want to, if I was married to a woman, preferably, honestly, and we had just lost our child, or maybe not just, I don't know how long it was for them, and we were trying to have like a nice couples vacation in this beautiful city that we are probably never going to see again, or at least won't for years. And while we were there, my wife was like, I met a psychic who said she saw our daughter. It filled me with so much peace and happiness. I'd be like, sick. Like that part, I'd be like, all right, cool. I wouldn't react how he did. But if then she talked to them again and she was like, anyways, they told us we got to leave Venice or something bad's going to happen, I'd be like, I paid thousands of dollars for these
Right.
tickets. We've only been here a few days. I'm gonna need a bit more than that.
Yes. Because even though he doesn't believe in the psychic premise, like the psychic visions, what this woman sees, he does sort of come to peace with the fact that, hey, his wife seems a lot happier now. Like all of a
Hmm.
sudden, if all it took was this woman telling her, I can see your daughter and she's excited to be with you guys in spirit, great. But don't keep going to visit them, please. Please, like don't pursue this friendship, because it kind of becomes that thing where she's like, well, maybe we should go to dinner, like maybe we should like, and he's like, oh, then we're gonna like get back home and then she's gonna like, they're gonna come by one day and like I don't want to hang out with these people in the
But
future.
in the end, he's like, I should get their like address and everything to give to my wife, like get their phone number so that she can contact them. Because you know what? They're not actually that bad now that I've had like interactions with them.
Exactly. He's a
Hmm.
he's a reasonable enough guy.
Yeah.
um Other things that they cover in this story is the notion of like mistaken identities.
Hmm.
Uh, uh, Not just like he thinks he's being stared at in the very beginning by the blind woman, but clearly she's blind. She's not staring at him, and also she's staring at the ghost of his daughter. Like,
Hmm.
but so he's like, who's this weirdo? The murderer, we think that there's a child, but it's actually a murderer. Um, the police officer who's after the murderer is mistaken for an attacker. The
Hmm.
future is mistaken for the present. Like there's all these perceptions that are going just completely off the rails. And again, it's nobody's fault really.
Except for the murderer.
Well, the murderer, yes, but you know what? We don't know her story. Where's her
Um,
story?
I think her story is that she was robbing and murdering people.
What if she's like, look, I'm a psychic myself, and I know that if any of these people live, it's only going to cause like catastrophes
Okay,
down the
are we
line.
now we're getting into like a Stephen King universe situation, which I don't think we need.
All I'm saying is, if people can write like the Cosette novel about what Cosette was going through during Les Mis, someone's got to write the woman in the red coat novel from this perspective.
She wasn't wearing a red coat. His wife was wearing a red coat.
Okay, I am confusing. I'm
His
confusing this
wife
with.
was the murderer the whole time.
This brings up an important point, which is that Don't Look Now, the movie, has eclipsed Don't Look Now, the short story in cultural impact, which, if you
Mhm.
want to watch the movie, we can
I don't
totally do that and discuss.
know how they would have turned this story into a 2 hour long movie. I'm gonna be so honest with you.
It's
So
an
I'm
hour and
down.
50 minutes. And I will
So
tell you this, Daphne du Maurier on record said she prefers the movie. She thinks the movie does a better job at telling this story than her story does.
that's
Uh,
impressive.
yeah, she was like, "Oh, this is better." She's like, "Oh, the movie, which I've seen and
Mhm.
remember and confused with the story a few times, is almost exactly the story. It changes a few things, it adds a little background and depth, but it's pretty much this." And and if you want to watch it, we can. Hey, listeners, should we should we
Hey, all
review?
0 of you.
All zero of you. Should we review Nicholas Rogue's Don't Look Now with Donald Sutherland and what's her face? Julie Christie. There's a very famous, very explicit sex scene in it.
Oh
Um
God. I'll have
uh
to leave the room for that one.
where you see his bare balls, back and butt. Uh you don't see his balls. I'm just joking about that.
That's less than you see in Midsummer.
It's less than you see in Midsummer. And it's actually a famously very well done and very appropriate scene. Like it actually does
Mhm.
advance the characters a lot. Like
Okay, so
you
it's
get
not just in there for the sake of being in there.
it's no, not at all. It's actually like, oh, you're like, okay, I get this. Um uh but yeah, so my question for you, here's some questions I have. Uh, where are they? So hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Okay, here we go.
The fuck is my what is in this book?
Is there what's wrong?
There's finally burial insurance you can afford.
Yay! How appropriate. Someone
No
marked their
medical exam, simple application, no waiting period.
when is this from? Is
It's from 2026. $100,000.
in burial insurance? Don't look now, but that's a bargain.
Yeah,
I like how you keep holding things up to the camera and all it's
I
doing
know, and
is
it's not
blurring
working.
everything out.
And I also got 40% off DoorDash.
Wow. You really struck it rich with that copy of Foundations of Fear by David G. Hartwell. So my question for you is, was there a point when you were reading it that you thought to yourself, John should totally believe the sisters by now? Were you ever frustrated that he wasn't listening?
No. There was never a point where if I thought about it, I would have believed the sisters. I think that he did exactly what I would have done, aside from having that weird getting drunk situation when his wife was happy. But I can understand why he responded that way when he was still struggling. Um, it was easier for him to focus less on his own emotions when she was having a hard time because he could protect her.
Hmm.
But then he had to deal with his own feelings because she was suddenly doing better. He never did anything because the sisters told him to. He only responded to real, actual, perceived issues. And there was never a time where I felt like that was the wrong thing to do.
All right. Um, what are you thought? I know there's the last line of the story is extremely controversial among people who read it. Some people think it turns the whole thing into a joke, like wah wah. Like I can't remember. Someone is it bathos? I can't remember. There's a term someone used where it's like the feeling is completely undermined by a line that like suddenly turns it into like comedy. And when I read it, I was like, yeah, it's probably what I would think to myself. Like I would think, I'm an idiot. This was stupid. Like he wasn't like thinking of his wife. He wasn't thinking of his son. He wasn't like, oh, I have so much more I want to do in my life. He's like, stab. Oh, are you kidding me? Oh, this is the dumbest thing in the just like,
It felt very British.
mm.
Like it just felt I don't know what else it would have ended with. I mean, yeah,
Yeah, one of the reviewers I read said that it should have ended with uh and he saw the Vaporetto with Laura and the two sisters steaming down the Grand Canal, not today, not tomorrow, but the day after that, and he knew that they were together and for what sad purpose they had come. That's what some
no,
people have said it should have ended on that.
incorrect. They're wrong. I don't care if it's an opinion. They're factually incorrect, actually. Um, no, I understand why they would want that, and I understand why some people don't like the ending.
Hmm.
I think I think that oh my God, Toffee, please shut up.
I cannot hear a dog, so
That's good because it's being picked up on my microphone somehow. This is so in character though.
yeah.
Like he's not some like you don't fade away as a
Mm.
person. You have a last thought. And when it's this situation, yeah. I mean, I feel like it adds to the tragedy because yeah, it is a silly way to die. And he's dying. And now his wife has to deal with him being dead and his their daughter being dead and their son recovering from appendicitis all by herself. And it's silly and it's tragic.
Hmm.
And you don't get to think about all of that because you don't have enough time.
Yeah. Is it horror?
I would label it more as a tragedy than as horror. But I think that those two are so interconnected
Hmm.
that you can't really have horror without tragedy, that
Mm.
I would be able to qualify this as a foundation of fear. Because
Yeah.
I think tragedy is a foundation of fear.
And this is 1971. It's very much a story that has gothic elements.
Hmm.
The sort of with the architecture, with the sort of the heightened sense of reality, but it is very much set in the real world. This is a modern couple uh, who are dealing with modern couple issues, and uh, Hartwell in his intro to Foundations of Fear spends a lot of time saying, I don't think horror, I think we've done horror a disservice by making it a genre when
Hmm.
it's more a mode. He's like, it's the only genre that describes that's whose name is the effect it's having supposed to have on the reader, as opposed to a descriptive term, or like a setting. And he points out, he's like, you can have horror westerns, horror comedies, horror, sci-fi, horror this, horror. He's like, there's horror romances. Like, it's not a genre in and of itself. And I think for me, I mean, so I think, yes, it's kind of unfair to say, is it horror? Because it is if it is. And it's definitely a story about people dealing with the horror of their lives. And it
I
does have
think
a creepy critter at the end.
it does, and they call her a creature, but she is just a woman.
She is just a
Um,
woman.
I think for me, the biggest disservice being done to horror is making it synonymous with scary.
Mm. Hmm.
Because I think when people hear horror, they're expecting like spooky, shivery, ghost, ghouly feelings, but it's not that. I mean, horror is a very real, like, when somebody says they were horrified by something, that doesn't always mean they were scared by it.
Right.
And I think that people judge a lot of horror based on how scary it is rather than how emotionally
Horrifying it
devastating it is.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Like I wouldn't say that The Bride of Frankenstein was scary, but
Mm-mm.
it's about a horror. Like it's a horrific movie, like in the sense
Yeah.
like what it is implying. Like so yeah, I think the our horror users who constantly get on and be like, I need a movie that makes me scared. Why don't movies make me scared? I'm like, because you're 13 and you don't have the brain capacity yet to understand that like there's more in the world to feel horror about than just things that jump out and say boo or are going to immediately kill you.
And also because you've watched every single horror movie in existence and you've desensitized yourself to literally everything. Like, don't get me wrong, that's how I dealt with horror. When I was a kid and I used to have like nightmares about the Bloody Mary episode of Supernatural, you want to know what I did? I watched that episode on repeat over and over and over again until I wasn't scared anymore.
Yeah. Do you remember when you were watching a Courage the Cowardly Dog episode and your grandparents thought it was too scary for you, so they turned it off?
I didn't even know I ever watched Courage the Cowardly Dog.
You were very young, and your mother and I were out, and your grandparents were watching you, and you were watching A Courage the Cowardly Dog that your grandmother thought was too scary for you. So she turned it off at the
Mhm.
scary part, which then meant that you couldn't stop thinking about that episode for the rest of the day. And you like
Uh,
had trouble sleeping and stuff. And I was like, should have just let her finish watching it to get some kind of resolution to the
mhm.
horror, and then you'd be okay. And I
That
was
is
like,
that is true.
lesson
It,
learned.
I do get obsessive thoughts when things don't have like finality. I just can't stop thinking about it.
Right.
And that's why I hate open-ended horror so much. Because I'm like, well, there's no satisfaction here, and now I'm just thinking about it forever and ever.
Well, there's no open end to this. We know the ending of this. John gets knifed by
I'm
a woman
choosing
in a
to
coat.
believe I'm choosing to believe in my happy ending universe that that was all a vision, and he actually was like, "Oh crap, I better get driving," and then they live happily ever after.
I'm gonna choose to believe this is all just an adventure on the holodeck. Uh, uh, so whether or not we do cover the movie in the next episode or in the future, what is the next story in
They,
Foundations of Fear?
they,
What? What?
they,
They what?
they,
They know they can tell us the next story. What's the next story?
they by Robert A. Heinlein. Heinlein?
You
Henlin?
just
I don't
you
know his
just
last name.
you Robert Heinlein, the writer of Stranger in a Strange Land. Yes, the next story is They by
He
Robert A.
was
What?
he was born the same year she was and died a year earlier.
A year earlier by a woman in a coat.
This actually the previous story was just his story.
uh yes, Robert Heinlein's They, a story that I have read and is very good and will mess you up. No spoilers or anything, but it's also very short. So it's got
Did
that
we
going
read
for it.
Smoke Ghost?
We did read Smoke
And did
Ghost.
we read What Was It?
We did read What Was It?
Okay.
What
Both of
about
those
them?
stories were so good.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
We'll get
excited to read this one
we'll
now.
get ready for they because it's gonna blow you away.
They, them, just like my pronouns.
Woo!
Uh,
uh, that's it, I guess. I don't have anything.
Hi.
I don't have anything to promote. If you're in Elgin in September, come see me at the Elgin Fringe
If
Festival.
somebody from Elgin just happens to be listening to this podcast and decides to go to the Fringe Festival and see your show, I think they deserve like $2.
No, I'm not going to give people money. But please come if you live in or near Elgin, Illinois. Please
If you do that, just tell him your name and you'll get a shout out on the podcast.
please come see my new one-man show. It was nothing like that. Penis breath. That's the name of my show. Yes,
Mhm.
it's about ET. Otherwise, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for joining us. Once again, I am Phil,
And I'm Willow.
and we'll see you when
When we're building our house
oh,
of
on
fear.
on the foundations
Foundations
of
of fear.
fear.
I hate
As
that.
we-
I really hate that.
We could call it the Dark Descent still.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, let us know what we should call this show.
They're gonna say that we should call it non-existent, probably.
We should call it They.
We should call it they.
Goodbye, everybody.